When we're starting out our fitness journey, a lot of us tend to start with training, and it makes most sense, right? Like, it makes all the sense in the world that we're starting with training because it's such an easy thing. And when we're starting with training or getting on our like health journey, we feel that we need to add something. We constantly feel that we need to add something. But in order for us to get the physique that you guys want, you need to not only add things, even more importantly is the things you need to subtract. Subtraction is what's going to get you there faster, because it's taking away things. And that's what we talked about yesterday in the mental discipline, in the mindset webinar. We spoke about all the things that you have to subtract in order for you to get to where you want to get, right? And that's so important. That's so important, that understanding. And there is a lot of different training methods. There's a lot of different training methods out there. Every trainer have their own way of succeeding. But even more, if you think there's a lot of training methods out there, when it comes to nutrition, that's when things are getting really advanced. And it's so easy. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. There are millions of different diets. There is all types of contradicting information. One website is saying that if you need to drink milk and have meat on your plate, the other website is saying that that's gonna kill you and you're gonna go to hell. So there are so many different things and so many different ways of eating. And that's what I'm going to break down today. Because I remember myself, before I studied at the Norwegian School of Sports Science, where I studied fitness, I was so lost in nutrition. I remember feeling so overwhelmed, so frustrated that I didn't get to where I wanted to get. I did my workouts, but I didn't get to where I want to get. And that thing for me was so annoying. Like, I cannot express how heavy it was for me to really feel that, like, I felt lost. Like, I really felt lost in my entire fitness journey. And it's so demotivating. It's so demotivating because you're putting in all this work, you're putting in all this heavy work, but nothing is really taking you, you feel like you're not moving forward, right? So this is what we're going to break down today. My goal with this webinar is really to teach you the simple hacks that you can use during your fitness journey so you get the physique that you want without spending hours in the kitchen. And I will also talk about like the basics of nutrition. And I think that's where we're going to start, because when you understand the basics of nutrition, all the things I'm going to explain later, how to do the things in the kitchen and just make it easy for you, is going to make more sense, right? And we humans, like sapiens, Homo sapiens are us, right? You, me, every person on this planet. We are what's called omnivores. Like, you're not a carnivore, you shouldn't only eat meat. You're not a herbivore, not necessarily you shouldn't only eat vegetables, because that's not how we ate throughout the period of time. Now, those are choices. Those are individual choices. And it's very important that you know and remember that is, if somebody's saying you shouldn't eat meat, or you should only eat meat, or you should only do this, and would have very strong opinion when it comes to dieting. Truth is that we don't really know. We have so much knowledge and so much things, so we can just assume that humans are omnivores. So always be a little bit aware of when you're reading, when somebody's talking to you about nutrition, because nutrition is such a sensitive topic for most people. So it's like, I always say nutrition is like religion. If you're really into it, it can be both ways. It can be both ways. There are many ways for you to get to Rome. And by the end of this webinar, my goal is that you're going to understand how to get there. First things first. All food that you are consuming are measured with a unit that we call calories. All right? The unit is called calories, and we count our food in calories. This tea, for example, that I'm drinking right now, even if it's tea, it's still herbs inside of it, so it contains calories. Everything that's xenobiotics, which means everything except water, has calories inside of it. And then we have what we call our macronutrients. Some of you have heard the word macros, but macronutrients is the official name, but the slang name, what we say in the gym, what we say on the streets, that's called macros. And macros are your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. And you need a solid mix of all of it. Protein can come from animals, it can come from plants, and when we're talking animals, we're talking like chicken, fish, turkey, beef, whatever. When we're talking about vegetables, we're talking about soybeans are high in protein, tempeh is high in protein, soy is high in protein, oomph is high in protein. Some nuts are high in protein, although they are mostly a source of fat. Again, so protein contains 9 calories. 1 gram of protein is 9 calories. All right? Again, 1 gram of protein equals 9 calories. Very important that we understand this difference. Then we have our carbohydrates. Our carbohydrates, we have 2 types of carbohydrates. We have starcher's carbohydrates, which are pasta, bread, potato, everything that's with flour and wheat, the starcher's carbohydrates. And then we have your fibrous carbohydrates. Fibrous carbohydrates are your legumes, it are most of your vegetables, it's whole grain. That's what fibrous carbohydrates are. And 1 gram of carbohydrates, or carbs as we say, 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. So 1 gram of protein contains 9 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates contains 4 calories. Give me some thumbs up in Zoom if that makes sense. Give me some thumbs up on Facebook if that makes sense. The thumbs ups are flying in. I'm gonna finish this bottle before everything, before we're done with everything. Then we have our fats, and we have fats coming from oils, olive oil, avocados, wherever you find fats. You find it inside of, like I said, tons of nuts also have fats. Fatty fish, you have salmon, for example, a very fatty fish. Fat, again, contains 9 calories. So 9 calories, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, 1 gram of protein is 9 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. All right? So this is the macronutrients, what we're talking about. So the macronutrients is protein, carbohydrates, fats. Very simple. Then we have what we call our micronutrients. We're gonna run over that very fast because it has a tendency to get overlooked, and most trainers don't even talk about it. I remember we learned very, very little about it in Norwegian School of Sports Science. This is something I had to learn by myself. And micronutrients is all the vitamins, all the minerals that you need. If you are a person with more melanin in your skin, you need different types of vitamins than if you're a Caucasian person. And so wherever you are standing, you need to look into what type of vitamins do I need? Where am I standing? Where am I deficient at? These are things you cannot know by yourself. You need to take a blood test to know this. And I highly recommend, especially during winter, especially during COVID, things to boost your immune system. We're talking vitamin B, we're talking vitamin D, definitely vitamin D. Have vitamin D, most of us have vitamin D, how do you say? Insufficient? Insufficient? Most of us need vitamin D. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you get it from the sun, right? Like that's like the most natural way of getting vitamins. But if you don't have vitamin D and you live in a country like me, for example, I used to live in Sweden and I'm colored, you need to add that as a supplement, right? Just wanted to really touch base on that. Don't skip your vitamins. The more vegetables you eat, the more whole grain foods you eat, the more vitamin is going to be, all right? So make sure you get the micronutrients. And then begs the question. Then comes the question everybody asks, how many calories should I eat, Sebastian? How many calories should I eat? It's a very good question, and it's a very hard question to answer because it depends so much of where you are. How much are you training? What's your NEAT? Like your non-activity exercise thermostatus. How much are you actually moving when you are not training? So me, for example, when I'm working, I'm standing, I record a lot of training videos, I'm dancing constantly. So I have a very high NEAT. I walk a lot here. I don't take the bus anywhere. I don't get a car. So I have a high NEAT. So my metabolism is high because I'm constantly moving. If you work in a desk job, for example, your NEAT is not as high as mine because you're not moving around as much. Those are things we need to take into account when you are, when I'm calculating your correct macros or your correct calories. But a very easy way that I like to explain it, and it was the formula I used for years when I was modeling, it's if you want to be in a caloric deficit. A caloric deficit means that you are cutting down on fats. If you want to cut down on fats, you need to, a great measurement is take your body weights in pounds and take that times 10. So I'm 194 in pounds. I take that times 10. I like even numbers, so I take 2,000. So if I want to be in a caloric deficit, I'm going to eat approximately 2,000 calories. All right? Take your body weight in pounds times 10, and you know how much calories you should be eating when you are in a caloric deficit. Now, if you want to bulk, which is that you want to put on some size, right? If you want to put on some muscles, you want to put on some muscles to your body, then you take your body weight in pounds times 15, all right? Which for me is approximately 3,000 calories, all right? Very simple numbers, but it's for you guys to understand and have something. So that's, again, I'm talking strictly about your calories, the amount of calories, the unit that we are measuring macros in. But then, what macros should I be eating? Again, that's a very good question, but it depends on so many different things. It depends on how much are you what's your metabolic set point? What's your body composition? How much are you moving each day? How old are you? Are you a male or a female? So there are so many different things that we need to put to address in that. I personally use the formula 30% carbohydrates, 45% protein, and 25% fats. That's usually the formula I'm using, but it depends different on you, right? It depends a lot on where you are right now, where you want to go, how you want to grow, in what speed, how much you're training, all of those things that I talked about earlier, right? Now, if you want to know more about this, and you want me to make your exact macros, if you need help with that, mapping out exactly what you should be eating, and maybe you have some questions on how to create a meal plan for yourself, let me know. Everybody who's joining here, all of us that are watching, let me know. Let's get on a call together. There's going to be a link somewhere here, and you're going to talk to me or one in my team, and we're going to run over everything you need to know, how to get to that next level on and off the dance floor, no matter what your goals are, right? Again, if you have any questions, shoot the questions in the chat. We're going to do a Q&A during, I want to do it after, but we might as well do it all the time. So I'm answering the question as we go along. Let me see here. All right. The link should be posted if you want to book a call, and let's get on that. And that's like the basics of nutrition. To be honest, you don't need to make it harder than that, because then it comes a lot of, I don't want to call it unnecessary questions, but when it comes to nutrition or when it comes to anything in life, you want to do the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principles. 20% of what you're doing is going to give you 80% of the results, right? 20% of the effort you put in and the things you're thinking about is going to give you 80% of the results. So then it comes like, yes, but can I eat fruit, for example? Or can I eat after 6 p.m.? Or can I drink water? Can I have diet soda? Stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Too much of everything, too much of anything is good for nothing. Don't eat too many fruits. Don't eat too late. Don't drink too much soda. These are basics. These are like things that the advice that you should give to your kid, right? So don't try to overdo it. Know your macros, stick to your macros. Then you can try to find your way. Should I eat more vegetables? Should I maybe try pescatarian diet, which is a diet I really like to doing, or like not a diet, but like a way of eating. Should I do the ketogenic diet? Should I be vegetarian? Should I be vegan? All of these things are things that needs to fit your lifestyle. And that's so important, that whatever you are doing, it needs to fit your lifestyle. So if you are joining me, right? Like let's say you join my inner circle. This is like the first questions I ask my students. If you're joining my inner circle program, which is a 16-week program where I do your training, I do your nutrition, I map out everything for you. I map out everything for you, so you know exactly what to eat, how much of it to consume, in order for you to reach your goals. So then I have students that are asking me, they're like, Sebastian, I want to go to the gym 5 days a week. And then my response is that something that's sustainable for you? Is that something that's sustainable for you in the long run? Can you truly commit to do that for the next few years of your life? Because if not, why are we going to do it now? Why are we going to do it now? Why am I going to put you on a diet where you only eat vegetables for 16 weeks? Because then when you start eating meat again, your body's going to react to it, and then you're going to gain all the weight again, if losing weight was your goal. So we're doing lifestyle changes, and if you missed yesterday's webinar, you go back and watch it. It's posted in the Facebook group already. Go back and watch it. Understand that we need to do things that are sustainable for you. Even if I like to go to the gym, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I like to do. It matters what you want to do in order for you to reach your goals. And that's such an important concept for you to understand. All right? Let me see here. Any questions? I'm right here, guys. If not, I'm just going to keep on pushing forward. So let's run over some hacks. Let's run over some hacks for you to, because again, it can be so overwhelming. It can be so overwhelming that even now, like I taught you how to, like what food you should be eating, how much of it you should be eating. I gave you a formula that I used. If you want to know more, again, get on that call and we can map it out even more. Let's run over now some hacks. Let's run over some hacks to make it easier for you. Because training is the simple part. If you do this long enough, you're going to lose weight. All of us who are watching this are probably training because you are one way or another a dance-specific student, depending on you're in the inner circle, if you're in Dancers Bootcamp, if you're just watching this live on Facebook because you're bored or in lockdown during a Saturday, it doesn't really matter. But here are some hacks to make your life easier when it comes to nutrition, all right? And first things first, when you go into a store, you buy in excess, like batch shop, buy a lot. Like we just went shopping. We bought food for hopefully the next 3 weeks. Hopefully the next 3 weeks. The worst thing I know is to go to a food store several times in a week. Why? Because number one, I waste money. Number two, I waste time. And then more importantly, I put myself in a dangerous situation. When I go to a store, I put myself in a dangerous situation because I love Snickers. And where do I get Snickers? In the food store. So I'm just like you guys. We all have our cravings. But if you stay away from the food store more often, the less you're gonna buy things, the less you're gonna stack up things. Like we have no sweets in our home. Like nobody who ever lives with me can have sweets in their home. It's just, it doesn't work. Because if I have it in my home, I need to eat it. So I'm setting my environment up for success. So first things first, make sure that you shop tons when you're shopping. Go in with a plan. Go in with a plan. Don't just go in and wing it. So yes, today we were sitting down. So these are the amount of macros I'm going to eat right now. Okay, so this is my meal plan. Perfect. I made myself a meal plan. Here we go. I need this. I need that. I need this. I buy everything on the list, on my shopping list, and that's it. No ups, no downs, no lefts and rights. We're keeping it basics. All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing, the second ninja hack I want to run over with you guys is meal prepping. Meal prepping is when you're buying or when you are cooking for 10 people instead of cooking for one. Even if it's just you and your family. Cook a lot. Cook a lot when you're cooking. Again, it's gonna save time. It's gonna be so much easier for you to reach your macros. It's gonna be so much easier for you to reach your macros if you have already food boxes in your fridge. Here, I'm so hungry. You come home from dance practice, you come home from the gym, you've been working all day. Just take out your box, put it in the oven, put it in the, heat it up, however you choose to do it. And you're gonna spend tons of time. It's gonna be easier for you to reach your macros, and you don't need to constantly weigh your food. You don't need to constantly weigh your food. It's gonna be very easy for you to get to that peak performance, because you do need your macros. You do need to consume the right amount of macros. That's extremely, extremely important. Regardless if you want to put on weight, put on muscles, lose weight, maybe even lose muscles, whatever you want to do, nutrition is so important. I cannot stretch the importance of it, all right? So, first thing, when you're out shopping, you shop a lot. Use a list, have a plan, have a roadmap. Like have a what do you get? Not a to-do list, but a shopping list. Third thing is meal prepping. Fourth thing, invest in some good food boxes. It's a silly thing, I know, but invest in some good food boxes. This thing for me was a game changer. It was a real game changer for me. I had really small boxes. It fit like half a meal inside of it. Get yourself some real solid, thick plastic boxes. It's also healthier for you if you're constantly warming up in the microwave. To be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of the microwaves for obvious reasons, because of health, right? But especially if you put in like thin plastic in there, try to get something with a little bit thicker plastic, or if you can get your hands on it, it's usually a little bit more expensive, get glass boxes, right? That's my second thing. Or that's my third thing, sorry. That's my fourth thing even, I'm messing up with the numbers here. Fifth thing, have a salad done. I know it sounds silly, but if you have a salad in your fridge, so when we're meal prepping, we're prepping the thick things, like all the fish. The people I live with, some of them eat meat, so we do chicken also, like beef for them, potatoes, some vegetables, but not most of vegetables, because vegetables, it goes so quick to do it. So create the big things, like all the rice. We make all the rice for the week, not for the week, but as much as we can. We make all the fish. So then we have a little salad on the side. We have a salad in the fridge, so we constantly, again, it's not to get the macronutrients in. It's not to get the macronutrients in, because that salad is standing in the fridge, but it's to get the micronutrients in. It's very rich in micronutrients. Add some chia seeds in there, add some sunflower seeds. Again, don't slack on your veggies. This is the point I'm trying to emphasize right now. Because again, your macros will make or break you, especially during the winter. And especially during a lockdown. If you can't go out, if you can't get sun exposure, if you can't be in nature. I read a research not long ago saying that people that are deficient in vitamin D, which is the vitamin which we get straight from the sun and from plants, right? They have a tendency to get more into depression. They can see a direct correlation between depressed people and people who are deficient in vitamin D. So don't slack on it, all right? Micronutrients, extremely important. Get that salad. This one, this is my favorite hack. This is my favorite hack because I discovered this so recently. I discovered this hack so recently that like I'm almost ashamed of how recently I understood the power of it, right? The power of the oven. I know for you guys who are good cooking, it might sound ridiculous, but for us that are not, that was never good cooking before, this thing is a true game changer. I tell you, the oven is the king. That's my next tip. Make sure to, don't fry everything. Don't fry everything you eat. Put them in the oven. Like we make so much food in the oven. Like I live with my team, right? So we put all of the food in the oven, put it on 200 degrees, 180 degrees, 20 minutes, put some salt, put some pepper, put some olive oil on it. Finished, tastes delicious. You know, you put some salmon there, chop up the garlic, chop up some onions, throw it on, throw some pepper, this is literally how I cook. Throw some pepper, throw some salt, and then voila. So use the oven for all that it's worth, all right? You don't need to be there. Pro tip, however. Here comes a pro tip. I always say, you don't need to learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes. Once you put the thing in the oven, you put a timer on. Click, put a timer on. Don't put a stopwatch. Put a timer on because there is nothing sucks as much as putting a lot of food in the oven and messing it up. Trust me on that. I can commit to it. And then like you chop some onion up, you roast some potatoes, you put them on the side, you put some fish, some meat, whatever you like to call it, some veggies all around it, everything in at the same time. All right? Guys, give me a thumbs up if what I'm saying is making sense. Give me a thumbs up if what I'm saying gives you guys some type of value. We got the people in Zoom watching, we got people in Facebook watching, and I'm getting some thumbs up over here on Zoom. I'm getting some thumbs up over here on Facebook. Fantastic. So I'm gonna move forward. This is a good one. This is a great one that helped me a lot because again, when you come up, like you get your first meal plan, now you know how many macros or you know your macros, you know how many calories you're gonna eat. So like, okay, cool, let me start cooking. So you get yourself a meal plan and then, okay, Monday I eat these 3 different meals. And then on Tuesday I eat meal 4, 5, 6. And then on Thursday, 7, 8, 9. And then all of a sudden, you have 9 different meals that you're going to make for yourself. And then again, you start spending hours and hours in the kitchen. And that was the topic of the webinar, how to not spend hours and hours in the kitchen. So I suggest you commit to 3 different meals, 3 to 5 different meals. I'm a basic guy. Like I'm such a simple guy, I can commit to 2 meals. And when I say meals, it's 2 different meals per meal that you are eating. So let's say 3 for the sake of it. 3 different breakfasts. So you have pancakes, you have oats and porridge, and you have eggs and eggs and bacon. Like those are the 3 things, right? And you just repeat them. You repeat them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you have these 3. That works for me. That works for me a lot. Maybe you need 5 different ones. I don't know how picky you are with food. So do that over and over again. It's going to make things so much easier for you. Because again, we want to save time, right? Like that's the headline of this conversation, of this webinar. Same thing with lunch. Make 3 to 5 different lunches. Make all the salmon at the same time. Make all the porridge, all the chicken at the same time. Make all the beef at the same time. Put them in your food boxes because you invested in some food boxes. It's going to be very easy for you to pick around and to reach your macros. All right? If you want to know more about this, head over to my YouTube channel and check out the video, The Perfect Plate. I'm talking more about how to create the perfect plate for you and your needs without counting your macros actually. And then my last tip of the day is dare to try different spices. Really dare to try different spices. It's not, you're just gonna make your entire food process more fun. It creates a new dimension almost. Like, again, I'm new to this. Like I wasn't never like a master chef. I haven't reached master level, but I reached definitely the physique I wanted and the mental state I wanted. And the nutrition I'm consuming is such a big part of it. So make sure to use different spices, but always remember that salt and pepper is the master key. Salt and pepper is the master key to almost everything. All right? And these are my ninja hacks. Quick run over, batch shop, use a meal prep, get a shopping list, invest in some real food boxes, have a cold salad in your fridge ready so you can eat, so you get your micronutrients. The oven is the king. Repeat the same 3 to 5 different meals. And then the last thing, dare to try different spices, all right? That's pretty much it. This is pretty much it what I wanted to run over with you guys. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. I'm gonna hang around. If you want me to map out, I'm gonna hang around for a few minutes. If you want me to map out your exact macros, let's get on a call. Let's get on a call. I'm gonna map out your exact macros so you don't need no questions, no guesswork. Book the call. It's a free call. I'm not gonna try to sell you anything. I'm not gonna try to, if you're interested, it's a free call we give everybody who are watching who are part of the International Congress. And tomorrow, we got your last workout posted. Your last workout will be posted tomorrow. I will come live. I got some more surprises coming up for you guys. Tomorrow there is no Zoom webinar. I will be live in Facebook, however. Tomorrow there is no Zoom webinar. I will, however, be live in Facebook. So make sure to watch that. Make sure to hit up me on Instagram. Do I see any questions? There is no questions coming in. Because my webinar was amazing, because I gave you all the questions. No, I don't see. There's questions on Facebook? Give me. Why I don't see any questions? There is questions on Facebook. Why I don't see it? Here we go. I'm gonna ask you this question. Oh, here we go. There's a delay. That's a great question. I feel like it's a bit harder for vegetarians to eat the right amount of protein as you should a day. Do you have any tips of some good protein sources? Definitely. First of all, if you are new to vegetarianism, make sure to track everything you eat. Even me, I was vegetarian for years. It's really hard for me to go back to that lifestyle because you forget how much food you need to eat. Temp is a great source of protein. Tofu is a great source of protein, also vegetarian. Oomph is a great source of protein. Sure, you can eat only vegetables, but you need to eat tons. I think that in 100 grams of broccoli, which is it's a lot of it, I think it's 12 grams or 9 grams of protein, so it's not that high. And your body don't consume all of it the same way as it consumes animal protein, so you actually need to eat more. But have a good whey protein. Have a good whey protein to your body, so you're actually eating more and get that extra protein, right? Oksana is saying, thank you, everything is super structured and interesting. Oksana, you're awesome. Make sure to get on that call, Diana, if you need your macros. I see you posted that. Oksana, same thing for you. Dave is saying, I'm booking that call. Make sure to book that call, all right? Familia, okay, here we go. Now some more questions are popping in. You guys were a little shy in the beginning, but now they're coming, or maybe it's a delay. Is intermittent fasting a good option if you want to lose weight? Do you recommend it or not? I definitely recommend it. Unless you have some health situations that I'm not aware of, then I don't recommend it. Then you need to contact your doctor first. But I had students who had really high blood pressure, students who had diabetes. I had who got so much better results from intermittent fasting. You get so much more better results from intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, for you guys who don't know what it is, I actually wrote a full ebook on intermittent fasting. That's how much I recommend it for weight loss and for muscle gain. I wrote a full ebook on that. It's called Intermittent Fasting, Everything You Need to Know. You find it on Barnes & Nobles online. I believe it's on Amazon, but head over to Barnes & Noble. You can find it on, it's posted somewhere in the Facebook group also. So if you're watching this on Facebook, just search Intermittent Fasting ebook and you can get that. I think it's cost next to nothing, considering how, I think it's 45 pages, something like that. But everything you get to know there. Intermittent fasting is when you're eating the same amount of calories within a shorter food window or with a shorter eating window. So you eat all of your calories from 4 to 12 hours. I personally eat all my calories within 10 to 8 hours every day, regardless if I'm bulking, regardless if I'm cutting. You live longer. There are so many crazy health benefits with intermittent fasting. Lower blood, more stable blood pressure, more insulin resistant. You have more human growth hormones, which means your body grows faster. More secretion of testosterone. You have more, it's so much more healthy for your digestive system. Longevity, you literally live longer. You go into something that's called autophagy. Autophagy means, and this is gonna sound like crazy talk, but autophagy means that your body, when you don't have food in your body and you're staying away from food longer than 12 hours, your body goes into autophagy, so your cells starts to eat themselves. So they start to eat themselves from the inside out or from the outside in. So they're really recycling themselves. And if you want to know more about it, search for autophagy, autophagy. I don't know how to spell it because I'm dyslexic, but you get my point here. And I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Any other questions? I'm here. If not, it's time for me to bounce. It's time for me to bounce. I need to eat. Speaking of, my fasting window starts at 10 p.m. and I got tons of calories to eat on today's dinner table. It's roasted potatoes, vegetables, and salmon. All of the 3 things that we spoke about. So, familia, hope you're having a great day. Get that ebook if you need it. Tomorrow there is a webinar, but that webinar is only on Facebook, all right? People in Zoom, you guys are awesome. People on Facebook, you're even more awesome. Love you guys a lot. See you and ciao.